Today, we are doing an activity with fossils. Pretend fossils. Those of you who were gone, attendance last week was crazy due to illness and various other activities. But in case you missed it, we spent Thursday and Friday discussing what kinds of fossils there are and the importance of fossils and how you know how old a fossil is, all different kinds of stuff. I happen to have some envelopes here with petrified wood fossils, trilobites, early tetrapods. Those are the first four-legged creatures that came out of the water, the first amphibians, and in reality, they're puzzle pieces. But we talked about that on Thursday and Friday, how the fossil record is kind of like a jigsaw puzzle. And as scientists dig up more and more fossils, it's like they're finding more and more pieces to the puzzle. And you don't always necessarily need all of the pieces in order to know the general idea of what the puzzle is about. Okay? So I'm going to have you work with your table partner today, and you are going to get a random set of fossils. You are going to become scientists who are experts in this particular field. So when a scientist goes and digs up fossils, they're not like, oh, I'm just going to go dig up whatever fossils I find today. The scientists are actually specializing in a certain area, like they will specialize in seashells, or they'll specialize in early human fossils, things like that. So you're going to be a specialist today, you and your partner, and you're going to work together to see if you can put together the data in your fossil collection to figure out your piece of the big picture. So in all of these envelopes are 50-ish puzzle pieces from the same puzzle. Because when scientists go outside and they dig up fossils, are they all working on the same puzzle? What would that puzzle be? Bigger than just dinosaurs. What do fossils tell them about? What puzzle are they trying to figure out? History of what?
Life on Earth.
The life on Earth. Very good. So, congratulations. You're an expert. Alex, move over here with Jenny, please. Expert on tetrapods. No? Okay. Take out your manila folder first. Inside the envelope, there's a manila folder, but don't spill the puzzle pieces. Only take out the folder. Sharp teeth. Amber. Bugs. Insects. Olive grain experts. You just use microscopes. And seashells. Oh, I want to. Just the folder. Just the folder. Make sure not to spill your puzzle pieces. Okay, here's the deal. For now, you're going to be just working with your partner at your table, but by the end of the period, you're going to get up and move around and compare to other groups. So when you take your puzzle pieces out, I would like you to organize them and work with them on that manila folder so you can be more mobile later and not have to pick up your whole desk. Okay? It doesn't matter. They'll all fit either way.
I don't think we could do it.
Okay, you need one pencil for each group. Not all your pieces. Put all your pieces back in the envelope. No, we have instructions. We're not taking out all your pieces at once. Do scientists just magically come up with all their fossils? No. No. On the paper that I gave you, there are instructions. Procedure number 1. How many pieces do you get to start with? 20. So carefully reach into your envelope and remove only 20 fossils. 20 puzzle pieces. Organize your 20 pieces on your manila folder. By organize, I think probably face up would be good.
Yeah,
And
she told
instructive.
us that we were doing
They
this.
all look the same.
Oh, I wasn't counting.
They're all white. They're all white. They're all white.
I looked at it like that and it's like, I had no idea.
What?
Okay, you have 20? Yes. Okay, stop and put your hands in your lap.
Oh, I'm over there.
Okay, now shut your mouths. What are some different things that you could be looking for in those puzzle pieces that would give you a clue as to what it's about? Raise your hand.
Oh.
Smitra.
Colors.
Colors.
If they have like the side piece, you know.
Okay, the shape of the edges, whether or not you have an edge piece or not. What else could you be looking at in those pieces?
The design.
What?
The design. Like,
What do you mean? You good? Yes. What do you mean by design?
just like, I don't know, like the way like there's something red that like stops, and if there's other pieces.
Okay,
of it.
not just the color, but maybe the word pattern.
Yeah.
Be a good word for that. Okay. Yes. The shape of the overall piece, because maybe that's going to tell you if they fit together or not. There's one more. It's hard for students to come up with it. You're looking for it right now, you're just not realizing it.
Right.
Size, they're all roughly the same size, which is not the same as fossils.
The picture.
The overall, yeah, kind of how they work together. Well, what about on the individual piece? What else can you sort them out by just besides color? Are some of them shiny?
Yeah.
What descriptive word could be used to? Texture. Good. So you could also be looking at texture. So go ahead and look at your pieces, just the ones that you and your group have, and I want you to take the evidence that you have, and where it says tentative hypothesis 1, come up with an idea about what you think it's a puzzle of. I'll give you 2 minutes. Go.
I have no idea.
I feel like
I would say animal.
Well, I don't know. Could be. First thing I thought of is picnics, just because of the red and white checker.
But I feel like
But I'm pretty sure it's not it. So, back to the drink. You know?
no, that's just
I think it's about like this.
no. Okay, that's good.
Where's your pencil?
You don't actually have puzzle pieces of seashells and dinosaur bones. That's just the analogy to fossils, okay?
What would you say?
They're not really necessarily seashells or insects or shark teeth. I'm just trying to bring in the idea of fossils on top of it.
I'll put yours.
Maybe a table.
Okay, 10 seconds? 15 maybe? We think this is a puzzle of?
Try to explain it. So we all have the same one? I don't think any of us.
Sometimes we have disagreement even within this 2 scientific table.
Do we all have the same number of rooms?
All right. Did your hypothesis include anything about where the puzzle might be taking place, like indoors or outdoors?
No.
In the sky, underwater? Did your hypothesis include anything about whether it was a photo or a drawing or a painting? Okay, keep that in mind for the next time. What does instruction number 3 say?
Pull 20 more pieces up.
All right, follow your directions.
Thank you.
Okay.
Some of you might have pieces that match, a lot of you won't.
I'm guessing ours not.
As we go along, if you have pieces that go together, you can sure put them together if that helps.
Can I call you? Can I still call you?
They all have one house.
We can start putting them together, yeah.
Looks like a looks like a barn. No.
A bunch of rocks.
Looks like a chicken. Looks like a bunch of rocks.
No, these can't be rocks. But this is like a part of the O, so it could be something.
Somehow, yeah.
Should we put them here?
Hey, come on. Could it be? I do not believe I think they do.
So these obviously connect to some.
We should get the colors together.
Look here.
It looks like it's a, yeah.
I think this
Of what?
fits.
I know.
These connect somehow. There's like one way.
Yeah.
This one feels right. Hey, twin. Watch. Fits.
There's one matching. We have a matching piece. And it's the same thing.
What do you think?
I think it's chicken.
Okay, now that you've collected more data, you might have collected some similar data that reinforced the idea that you already had. It might have made your argument stronger. You might have also collected some brand new data that was new and it added to your understanding of the overall picture, or it might have confused you a little bit, like, oh, we thought it was this and now it can't be because of this piece that we found. So you might, for tentative hypothesis 2, you might need to revise your hypothesis. Your hypothesis for number 2 should be either more detailed or maybe a little bit different based on your new data. And scientists have to do that sometimes. They used to think that the T-Rex walked pretty much upright. And as they found more fossils and collected more evidence, they decided that that idea wasn't very good. And so they adjusted their concept of the Tyrannosaurus rex to being more leaning forwards, where the tail wasn't dragging on the ground, it was more of a counterweight to the body. Okay? And so they had to go through all the museums and change their display so that the T-Rex was horizontal instead of upright. Okay? So you might want to revise your hypothesis based on your new data. So go ahead and talk with your partner and figure out, either add some detail or change your direction a little bit for hypothesis number 2. And then read the next set of directions. If you're disagreeing with your partner, talk about why.
It's not a chicken. It's a skunk. Well, I got one piece that looks like a skunk.
Oh no. You're gonna make me cry.
We got more table pieces there.
Wait. Might be a Holstein steer because you know it has a spot on it.
Hey.
You can never know. Or
You only get 5 more fossils this time. It's getting harder to find them. You've already picked over all the easy sites. So by the time that you get to hypothesis number 3, you should have 45 pieces. If you did your 20 and your 20 and your 5, you're done. So you got 20, then you got 20 more, then you got 5 more. And after your fifth, after your third set that has 5, you need to make a third hypothesis. Sometimes, yeah, sometimes you get a piece and you're just like, this changes everything.
You know what?
It's a key to the mystery.
Just throw it out.
No, that is not what you do. Don't throw it out.
Why?
You have to consider how that affects your current paradigm, your current way that you view the other.
Happy birthday.
Well, this kind of changes things. The way that we thought about it was not right. Like when they started finding dinosaur fossils with feathers, that really changed the way that they thought about dinosaurs and birds. That was a big, they didn't just throw out the fossils with feathers. That would be bad. You wouldn't know some important things. You guys get anything new? So it's kind of reinforcing what you already thought. Did you have this one before? That one's different from the rest of them, isn't it? It's darker. Is there one, are there 1 or 2 pieces that kind of throw you off? And that one's not really matching up with anything else? What do we do with this thing? But your hypothesis has to look at all of your different pieces of evidence. You have to, and that's part of the picture, even if you don't have much to match it right now. All right, get a third hypothesis figured out.
I think it could be a bar.
Miller.
Alright.
Mrs. Miller.
That's not a bar or.
And Mrs. Miller, since we're scientists, we're getting paid for this, right?
Well, today you're amateur scientists.
Dang.
I could pay, well, you're getting a grade. So you're kind of getting paid. It's a professional scientist. School is your job, right?
Yeah.
Don't laugh, that's true.
Yeah.
There you go, there's.
Look at that. Fits.
No, Drew said, he's like, how come all these look the same, but none of them fit together?
Oops. It looks like a chicken.
Okay, do you think it's
connect one to that.
photo, drawing, paintings, how many animals?
There it is, right here. Look.
What kind of animals? Like birds and mammals?
That's what I do left when I was a little kid. I had written in there and then silver hat.
From Earth, good. It's not from Mars.
Like, what is
Oh, okay. That
Well, no, I'm not telling you, I'm saying you're specifying a planet in outer space.
Yeah.
Which part makes you think
Well,
it's
They all fit. Am I right? Am I right?
Colors.
yeah, except it doesn't look
except for
nothing
these, so some of your data doesn't fit in with your.
It looks like
answers. Like that would really be.
No, it's
These
red,
that
it's
look like a
chicken.
planet, but these don't.
Henry,
Okay.
what does yours look like?
Do your best hypothesis that you
chicken?
can.
Yeah, that's what we thought. It was a freaking.
It's okay if you're not right, just put your best
Planet
idea.
rings around. 1, 2, 4 pieces say it's a chicken.
5.
5 pieces say it's a chicken. It's obviously one of these. Next time. This is not the
Back away.
You don't want your piece back?
No. You broke it and I'm gonna cry.
Drew, does that fit?
Animals and multicolored.
Okay, it looks like most of you have a hypothesis number 3. I think all of you do. Is there anybody that needs another minute or 2? Okay. Finish up writing.
I want to know. I want to put it together.
It's not a chicken.
It's a chicken.
You guys are having a disagreement about what makes you think it's a chicken?
Red.
What you said, red.
Red. Okay, what makes you think it's not a chicken?
Just because it's
Yeah.
There's 1, 2,
like
3, 4 pieces of red.
Where you see.
There's no other chicken parts in here.
What else would you expect to see if it was a chicken?
or maybe it could be.
A barn or grass.
More of like
This is
a
part of the barn.
What else is on a chicken?
You know, that could be some kind of
Legs,
weird
feet,
kind of
there's no
goodness.
feet.
What's on the surface of a chicken?
Hair, feathers.
Hair? What the?
Do you see any feathers? Can any of these textures be feathers?
You see this?
What's this thing? This is weird.
I tell him it's a bunch of.
All right, as we have gone through the year,
Yes!
hands in your lap, mouth shut. As we have gone through the year, based on different things that we've talked about and the videos that we've watched, once scientists collect all their data, they've been working on their own for a while, what really allows them to get to that next level of figuring things out?
More pieces.
More pieces. We've collected a lot of pieces. Kyle, what?
I was just gonna say collecting more data.
Okay. Sharing. What did the scientists in like the DNA video that we watched, what did they do? They got together at that big conference, right? And they found out a lot of things based on that conference. They're like, you're doing that too, I'm trying it this way. So, keeping your pieces on your folder, I don't want you to transfer pieces between groups because that would just make it way too easy for the afternoon classes. Okay? So keep your pieces on your folder. In the next 5 minutes, I want you to visit with 2 other groups. I want you to share your data and your ideas. Go.
Father?
We're going to have one group of 3 because there's an odd number of groups. You have 5 minutes to visit other groups.
Why do you think it's cheap? That's my scalp. Just because of
Can I borrow this piece?
No, we're not
You're not
supposed
supposed to share.
I know.
Hey, ours is
Yeah, that should not go there.
That was Colton's idea.
I don't think that one goes there either. Hey, it's a little loose fit though. I mean, feel right in there. Get your finger right in there. It's a loose fit.
Oh, yeah, right.
You guys have a lot more colors than they do.
Well, like we have our colors at we have like this, like the bunny would make sense because this is like it looks like it
Do you think it looks more, how would you tell the difference between indoor and outdoor wood?
it's like it's for you to have in your house.
Nicer polished wood inside? Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
I don't know what we have a bunch of yellow pieces.
They write all good.
You know, like I feel like a lab or something. Yeah, different colors. White, like
Lots of pink too?
we have a couple like Mars yellow.
Okay, it's about time to switch groups. Finish up your sentence that you're doing right now and find somebody new to compare with.
Henry, excuse us.
Kind of seen.
And then this.
Okay, go to another session at your conference.
Let's go to Jared.
That's what you're doing. That means you're going to a new one. You're going to hear somebody else's new ideas. Remember that one lady? The only reason that she got to
That could be like.
she sat down to she had tired feet.
I think it might be a chicken.
Not a chicken.
I don't know if the rest of your peers are supporting your chicken hypothesis.
Chicken.
How is that a chicken?
Okay, does anybody have any evidence that might convince people that it's not a chicken?
No, it's a little bit overhang right here.
Doesn't look like a chicken.
Yeah, I can still see the piece. It's a chicken.
What do you think the scientists do when they have a peer who's like, I really think it's this, and everybody else is like, you're nuts?
Well, you see, then that's
Well,
that
hopefully
that
not.
one only person is the smartest person in that room. Then.
Well, history kind of tells that story, doesn't it? Because we've talked about some scientists that have weird ideas and they end up being right. But you know what happens to the weird ideas that are wrong? Nobody ever hears about them again. And so you don't make it into the science book. You only hear about the weird ideas that end up being true because they're true and they stay in your book. So you never know. If you really believe strongly in your idea, if you have good evidence to back it up, then you can stick to your guns. But if you're just being obstinate, we talked about that too. That there's a fine line between believing in your own work and just being obstinate, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so you have to decide
Looks like a fence, a little.
which you're going to be.
So chicken, say the fence, you know? You might. That could be.
Okay, finish up your conference and move back to your table, please.
Come on, looks like the river with the chicken on it.
Excuse me, I don't have chicken.
It's a river.
All right.
Around the Loop River with chicken on it.
You are now ready to make a final hypothesis. I'll give you about a minute and a half based on the arguments that you've heard from the other groups and the additional data that you've seen from the other groups. You might have agreed with their interpretation of the data and you might have disagreed with their interpretation of the data. But you need to take all of the information and make your most detailed hypothesis that you can while still having evidence to back up your claims. We're not just going to make wild, detailed claims, but make it as detailed as you can based on the evidence that you've seen, indoors or outdoors, photo, painting, or drawing. If there's creatures in your idea of the puzzle, how many, what kind? Okay? Maybe you can pinpoint a time of year. Okay, go. About a minute and a half. Scientists feel that way too? Like they really want to know the answer. You just want us to try to do the puzzle.
Are you gonna show us at the end?
Scientists don't know how to do it.
Yeah, but we're not. Do you have the better part? Told you.
That's the best thing I've heard all day.
Once you have your final hypothesis, please put your puzzle pieces and your folder in your envelope so I know that you're ready to move on. Alright, we're going to go around and you're going to share your hypothesis.
Our final hypothesis?
Your final hypothesis. We're actually going to start in the back of the room this time, because you guys get to start first way too often. Alright, finish writing, put your stuff away, and you're ready to listen to your classmates, please. As we are going around the room, everybody's going to be allowed to present their hypothesis without judgment for now. Tomorrow we're going to have a little bit more discussion about a wrap-up, but for now I want you to, as you're listening to these hypotheses, I want you to listen for what's the same and what's different between the different groups' ideas. Okay, so we're going to start in the back with Bailey and Addie.
We think it's a puzzle that's a picture of a scene that was placed inside, and it has various stuffed animals, and they're placed on a wooden floor.
Okay, next group.
The puzzle is a picture of several animals, including a rabbit and a dog wearing a collar on a red rug on wooden floors.
Good. Next.
A rocky surface outdoors.
A rocky surface outdoors. So they were a little short on details in their puzzle pieces. That's their best hypothesis so far. They need to just collect more data. Yes?
We think it's stuffed animals. We don't know which one, but like two on wood floors. There's like a ball of yarn, I think, in the picture.
More than one stuffed animal. Indoors
Wood floors, yeah, inside.
wood floors inside. Pay attention, you know what's the same and what's different.
If the pieces are put together, then we see an artistic painting of a few animals in a home during the summer months.
What kind of animals? Birds, fish?
Dogs.
Dogs-ish. Okay. Next.
Alright,
We think it might be a scene in like a rocky beach or something. Maybe like a dog, no creatures, and it'd be like in the summertime.
Okay, that one's different from the rest. So let's let's keep going. And Cole thinks there's chickens. Let's just get that out there.
John,
It's okay.
you read the wrong.
Did you read your last one or your first one?
Last one.
Okay. Kyle and Drew.
Ours kind of looked like a reptile in a dry desert-like environment.
Okay. So that's the first mention that we've had of reptiles so far.
We think it's a landscape painting of a desertish area with maybe some buildings.
Okay. Next group.
You think it's an animal inside of a house that has wood before?
Okay, one animal or more than one?
Like an animal that's kind of whitish.
Okay, a whitish animal. Good. Next.
We believe it's like a snake, a dog, and a bunny, and maybe a rooster on a red rug inside on a wooden floor.
Are they getting along? That's quite a collection. Good. Next.
We hypothesize that it is a red rooster in a brown barn outside on a sunny day.
Red rooster on a what? Brown barn outside on a sunny day. So, there were some very different ideas out there. Raise your hand. I want to know some similarities between the ideas. What were some ideas that kept cropping up? Smitra.
Stuffed animals.
Stuffed animals. Bailey.
But there was wood in the picture.
Wood in the picture. Kyle, what was another similarity?
Chickens.
Well, that was maybe the. Oh, there was another, and somebody else said a rooster. Yeah, that came up more than once. Dallas?
A red rug.
A red rug kept coming up. There was some red that you guys saw out there. Yes?
Not even stuffed animals, but just animals in general.
Just animals in general. Okay, that was a common theme, except for in a couple of groups. Yes?
A few times rocks or rocky surfaces came up.
All right. What were some of the differences between the hypotheses? Inside versus outside. Cole, what was another difference?
Chicken.
You had a hard time getting people to come around to your chicken idea.
But
didn't you?
some people did.
Some people did, yeah. Josh, what was another difference?
Rocky versus wooden.
Yeah, there was some differences in maybe the terrain that was out there. Smitra, one more.
The types of animals.
The types of animals were different. Yeah, we had some fuzzies and some reptiles and some birds that were, and there was one group that just said buildings in general. Who was that? Was it the back here? Okay. So I would like you at this point to give your paper to the person in your group who will be here tomorrow. Think about if you have to be gone for, or if you think either they're going to be here, just leave it with me.
Yeah, exactly.
We will be finishing this up tomorrow. Please pass your envelopes forward with all the stuff in it.
I said good luck.
I can't believe you broke my back. Okay, I'm not going to do this. I was there.
Bonus is not great. And they're very good.
You guys think I should show you the picture tomorrow?
Yeah.
Are any of us here?
There you go, chicken.